everyone, my name is Ebony and welcome to another video. So today we are going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. So I'm actually sitting like backwards on a chair. Like I can't really move my camera so you can see it, but like there's a chair, like the back of the chair is right here and the arms are right here. So normally you would sit facing that way, but this is the best lighting, so I'm doing it this way. It's a little weird. But anyway, so today we're doing a 24-hour readathon and it's gonna start in now, so I really need to get through my TBR so I can get reading. So the goal of this readathon is for me to finish all of the books that I started this year, because I have a really bad habit of picking up a book and then like reading half of it and then like putting it down and picking up a different book. I don't know. So I have 4 books currently that I am in the middle of. One of them I am reading with my boyfriend, so I probably won't get to that one, and if I do, I'll have to like video call my boyfriend and we'll have to like read it together. So I don't plan on finishing that one today, but I want to finish the other 3. Then I have 2 other books. One's a graphic novel and one is a novel written in verse, so they're pretty short, that I'm hoping to squeeze in today as well, just to help me get to my Goodreads goal, because I still have to read 10 books by the end of the year, and it is now Christmas Eve. I didn't realize I would do this on Christmas Eve. I need to hurry up and finish my Goodreads goal before I run out of time. So that's what hopefully this readathon is going to help me do. So on to the books that I'm going to be reading. These are in no particular order. So the first book on here is Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. I started this one in like October, I think. I bought it very recently. I think I bought it beginning of October, maybe end of September. I'm on page 115 of this book. So this book, to give you a brief synopsis, is about a girl who had some like trauma happen to her, and so she was sent to a mental hospital, and she's just really quiet. She doesn't talk to anybody because she just has like all this PTSD. And actually where I'm at right now, she's actually left the mental hospital and is on her way to stay with a friend. So that's where I am in this one. Next on my list, I have Lucid by Adrienne Stoltz and Ron Bass. So I started this one probably in June or July, and I literally only read 14 pages. So this one is the one that I'm the least far in. That's not a phrase. But anyway, this one is about, I don't actually know, and like the synopsis is like fairly short and is not helpful. But basically, I think what happens is when this girl goes to sleep, like her like alter ego like takes over her body and is like an evil twin. I don't really know exactly what's happening, and I haven't gotten far enough in the book to actually give you a good synopsis, so that's all I really know about this one. Alright, next on this list, I started this book during the reading rush, which was in July, and I just didn't finish it. That book is Summer Bird Blue by Kemi Dawn Bowman. So this book, this is the first one that I'm furthest into. I'm on page 209. So this book follows the story of a girl whose sister died in a car accident, and so now the main character is really struggling with dealing with her sister's passing. And so her mom actually sends her to go live with her aunt in Hawaii for the summer to try to like, I don't know, make friends, help her cope. I don't really know why they decided to do that. But this is one that is rather sad, so I'm hoping to cry. I haven't cried yet while reading it, but I'm hoping that it will happen. That is my goal. I want to cry. I like crying at books. Alright, the next book on this list is one that I haven't started yet, and that is A Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. I bought this one very recently from a local bookstore because I've heard so many good things about it, and it's also written in verse, which is why I put on this TBR, because it won't take me that long to read. So this book takes place in the span of like 60 seconds, I think, and it's about a guy who's on his way down an elevator, and when he gets to the floor that he is going to kill the person that he thinks killed his brother. So while he's on the elevator, like people get in and off and they're like ghosts of his past or something that like help him understand and like work through his decision. I've heard lots of good things about this book, so I'm really excited to read it. And also there's a graphic novel version of it, so if I really enjoy this one, I will probably pick up the graphic novel as well. Next book on this list is a graphic novel, and that is the Fangirl Volume 1 manga So it's by Rainbow Rowell, but it's adapted by Sam Maggs and illustrated by Gabby Nam. So this is a graphic novel version of Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. It's basically about a girl who is in college and she writes Simon Snow fanfiction, which is essentially Harry Potter, but she writes the fanfiction and she's a freshman in college and she's just really struggling with being in college. I absolutely love Fangirl. I have read it 3 times this year, and I think I've read it 5 times total. I love that book. Fangirl is just one of my really comfort reads, and so when I was at Barnes & Noble, I saw this, I'm like, I have to buy it. Like, do not tempt me with Fangirl. Honestly, they had another special edition of Fangirl that I really wanted to buy, but then I saw this one, I'm like, no, I need this one first. So Fangirl is definitely one of my favorite books of all time. And I'm really, really excited to read this. Like I said, this is only volume 1. I think there's probably going to be at least 3, maybe 4 volumes, just based on where I kind of sneak peeked to see where this volume ends. And based on where that ends in the actual book, I'd say there's going to be at least 3, possibly 4 of these mangas. And this is the first one, and it just came out in October, so it might be a while before we get the second volume, but I'm okay with that. I'm just so excited to read this. And finally, the last book I have on here is Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead. This is the book that I am reading with my boyfriend because we're reading the Vampire Academy series. Also, if you didn't know, I co-host a Vampire Academy and Bloodlines read-along, and we are currently reading Frostbite, which is the second book in the series, which I have already reread since I've already read the series. And our live show is going to be in January. So if you've never read Vampire Academy and you want to read it, you can check out our first live show up here, which is only talking about the first book. So if you read the first book, you can watch that live show, and then we will be talking about the second book in our upcoming live show in January, and on and so forth. Anyway, my boyfriend and I are reading this together. We're on page 95, so we definitely have a long ways to go because this is a pretty chunky book. But like I said, I don't know if I will actually end up getting to this one during this readathon because my boyfriend and I are in separate dorms, and so we aren't able to be together for the readathon, so if we do read it, it's gonna have to be over video chat, and that's just a little more tedious and not as fun. So I might end up reading a little bit with him, but probably will not prioritize this one. But I do want to finish it before the end of the year, so we'll see how that goes. Those are all the books I have in my TBR. I've been talking long enough. I should get reading. I realized when I stopped vlogging that I didn't tell you what book I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with Summerbird Blue because this is the book I'm the furthest into, so it shouldn't take me too long to finish. I apologize for not telling you that sooner.
I never think, I never know. I'm stuck and left alone. I've been lost, I've been fine.
Hey, so it's a little past 1 in the morning. I'm on page 257 of Summerbird Blue, but it's actually a really quick read, which is interesting considering I just didn't finish it, because if it's a quick read, then why didn't I finish it? I don't know. I literally read 50 pages in 45 minutes because I spent too much time vlogging. But usually it takes me an hour to read 30 pages. 30 to 40 I think is my range for an hour. And so 50 pages in 45 minutes is insane. So I don't know. It's really quick, which I'm grateful for because I like quick books. Okay, so it is 2:56 in the morning and I finished my first book of the readathon, Summerbird Blue by Kimmy Dawn Bowman. It feels really good to be done with this book. Like I said, I have been quote unquote reading it for 6 months. So it feels really good to be done. I really enjoyed it. It didn't make me cry, although I did tear up one time, but I didn't cry. But that's okay. Basically, the premise of this book is it's about a girl named Rumi, and her best friend is her sister Leah. And at the beginning of the book, her and her sister and her mom are in a car crash, and her sister Leah dies. And so her mom sends Rumi to stay with her aunt in Hawaii for the summer. And Rumi is just really angry at her mom for giving up on her, for sending her away, because Rumi's all I need right now is my mom, and my mom is not here for me. But while she's in Hawaii, she makes friends with her older neighbor, this old man, and he really helps her understand what's going on and how to understand how she's feeling. And then she also makes friends with another guy in her neighborhood named Kai. He helps her as well. And one of the things I really enjoyed about this book is it's a little ways into the book before this conversation starts, but basically her and Kai go on a date, but she is thinking about it and she's like, I don't know if I really want to date. And so there's kind of like a discussion about being asexual, because she doesn't really like guys, but she doesn't like girls, and she just doesn't know what she wants, or if she wants to date anybody. She doesn't know what to do in that situation. She feels sort of this pressure to just know what she wants, but she doesn't know what she wants. And so she doesn't know if she's asexual or like aromantic or whatever. And so there's like a bit of a discussion about finding your sexuality in this book as well, which I really appreciated. It was sort of just like an underlying subplot. I feel like it was done pretty well and explained pretty well. Sort of like the whole thing that Rumi is working on throughout the whole summer is that her and her sister used to write songs together, and they would just like say 3 random words and they would make a song off of it. And so Summer Bird Blue were the last 3 words that they said together while in the car right before the car crash. And so they never wrote the song, but they had picked out what the song would be about, which was Summer Bird Blue. And so Rumi like decides that it's her responsibility to like write this song how Leah would have wanted it, but she's finding that hard because she has never written a song without Leah, and so she's really struggling with that. It takes her the whole summer to finally be in a place where she can write the song. Anyway, this book was really good, and like I said, it was a quick read, which I don't know why I put it down for so long if I was actually reading through it pretty fast. Like, I'm pretty sure I read the last 60 pages in less than an hour, so like that's really good for me anyway. I really liked the way that this book dealt with grief. Like I said, it wasn't sad that it made me cry, but it was still like emotionally impactful, and I think that it handled that emotion really well. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think I might give it 4 stars. But so what I think I'm going to do is I really want to take a bath. I found that I can get the audiobook for Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow, so I might take a bath and listen to the audiobook for this for a little bit. So I'm gonna go do that. It's now almost 4:30 in the morning. I have a really bad sleep schedule, which is why I'm still awake right now. And I've been reading Girl in Pieces. I'm pretty much halfway through. I'm on page 209. It's really good. I have been listening to the audiobook and also kind of following along a little bit, but I think I'm going to take a break from this one because I know I have to go somewhere tomorrow and I want to listen to the audiobook while I'm driving. So I don't want to finish the audiobook tonight. I'm going to take a break. And I think I'm going to read the Fangirl manga because I don't think it'll take me that long. And I think by the time I finish it, I'm going to be about ready to go to sleep because I'm feeling a little bit tired right now. I'm really excited to read this, guys. Like, so pumped.
Won't you kiss me? Won't you play? Won't you try me? Ain't no way I could deny you. I could stray. Won't you kiss me?
So I'm gonna really quick update you because I really need to go to bed. I'm really tired. It is 5:30 in the morning. I just finished Fangirl the manga. I really enjoyed it. There is a thing in the back that said this is book 1 of 4, so there's gonna be 4 books. And this was just so good. I love Fangirl, and reading it as a manga was just another amazing way for me to read the story. I really liked it. I can't form any coherent sentences right now because I'm so tired. So I will update you in the morning. Good night. Good morning, everyone. Or actually, it's more like good afternoon because it is 12:54. It's almost 1. I woke up at like 12:30ish. And after I like woke up, I started listening to my audiobook for Girl in Pieces again. I'm currently on page 229. Probably listen to my audiobook for a little bit longer, but then I might switch over to a physical book because I do want to listen to my audiobook while I'm driving today. So I don't want to like finish it before then. I guess I should give you my thoughts on Fangirl, the graphic novel, because I don't think I really said much last night because I was so tired. I really enjoyed this. I love reading this story. I think I enjoyed it more because I remember like really specifically some of the lines from Fangirl because I read it 3 times this year. I really know that book. When some things happen, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that specific scene. But I feel like if you had only read Fangirl once and it was like several years ago, you might not enjoy it quite as much So you know how in between the chapters of Fangirl there's like excerpts from Simon Snow or from Kath's fanfic? Well, there really wasn't that in this book. There would just be like a page of like pictures of Simon and Baz and like the details of them, or sometimes there'd be like a split-second scene of what happened in Carry On. So, like, they didn't really do the Simon and Baz story very much, because I feel like in Fangirl, you sort of get a story within the story, and I don't think you don't really get that here. But honestly, I'm okay with that, because I think the Simon and Baz chapters are my least favorite. I just care more about Kath and what's happening, I guess. It's because I'm a contemporary lover, and I don't like fantasy that much. I really liked the art style and, like, the character drawings. Also, I think that Ren, she's the one with the short hair, Kath's sister, I think she looks really good. Low-key, I wish I was Ren. I liked seeing Levi. Here, let me see if I can find a picture of Levi. Look at Levi. Look at him. He's so cute. Anyway, I still like don't have coherent thoughts yet. My brain is still a little bleh. But I think I gave it 4 stars. I do think that there are some scenes that were just better in the book, but I still really, really enjoyed it. So I gave it 4 stars because, like, while it is still good, I like the book better. So I guess I will just read some more of Girl in Pieces and update you later. Okay, so that was a wild time. So it's actually almost 4 o'clock. I left my dorm at like close to 2, and I just got back because I had to go. I was actually going to get tested before I go home to see my parents. I wanted to get tested. It was like a 20-minute drive to get there, but I was like, I really want to get food because I have like no food in the dorm. So I stopped at Chick-fil-A to get food. And first of all, that line was so freaking long. You guys, it was so long. Also, I've had Chick-fil-A 3 times now, and every single time I am not impressed. Like, I think I just don't like Chick-fil-A. Like, it wasn't even good. It wasn't even that good. I literally sat in line for like 20 minutes, and like, all I got was chicken strips, and they weren't even that good. So I don't think I'm gonna be eating at Chick-fil-A anymore. But then I went to get tested. The line for that was so long. I think I was in line for that for close to 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, there were so many people there. So yeah, I've been out for a while, but thankfully I have been listening to my audiobook. I am on page 373 now. I think I have maybe like 30 pages left. So I think I'm just gonna finish this and then I'll start another book. I am laying down because I'm really tired from that trip. But I wanted to let you know, I finished Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. I've been saying Glasgow, but it's Glasgow, according to the audiobook. I liked it. It was different than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, like, her in the, like, mental health facility for most of it. But actually, it was only, like, the first little bit where she was in the mental health facility. Although, like, the rest of the story is about her overall recovering from her mental health, PTSD issues, all that jazz. There were some really interesting developments in the plot as the book continued that, like, I didn't see coming. So they kind of felt, like, out of place because it just felt kind of random, but also I think that is how life is sometimes. You just like go about your life and then boom, something really random happens and you just gotta deal with that, you know? So like, I don't know. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I think I gave it 4 stars. But the next book I'm gonna pick up is Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. I was gonna pick up my other like normal book, which is Lucid, but I'm kind of tired right now, so I don't really want to read like a whole book. I just want to read this one because it's written in verse, so it won't take me as long as a normal book would. I'm really excited for this one. I've heard so many good things about it, and I think it's going to be really deep, and it might make me cry, and I love crying when I'm reading, so I hope that it can make me cry. So I'm reading Long Way Down. I'm on page 43, and it is written in verse. I don't think it's necessarily written as poetry, but some of it does feel like poetry. And so, I don't know if I can hold my book right. This poem right here is written in couplets, which are stanzas of 2 lines. And couplets are usually paired with like romantic poems because, you know, couplet, you know. And this poem or segment or whatever of the story talks about William, who's the main character, and his brother used to talk about girls, and then they talked about their 2 favorite rappers, and then they talked about the very last couplet of the poem is, just because they were dead, people always love people more when they're dead. And like, it's about love, and it's about like couples, like different sets of couples, because I talked about girls, so that's kind of a couple, and then love, which makes you assume there's a couple, and then like the 2 rappers, which is a set or a couple of rappers that they listen to. I don't know, I just think that that's a really cool way of using a couplet, because it's not inherently romantic or about love, but it is in a way. And even, I think, even more abstractly, the couplet could be about William and Sean, his brother, and like just how they are essentially a couple. They're brothers, they've grown up together, and now like the couplet is no longer a couplet anymore because his brother died. I just think using a couplet in that way that's not inherently romantic but is still about love in a way is really interesting. And my analytical poetry brain is like, ooh, that's interesting. I don't know if you guys know this. I took a poetry class last semester. I learned a lot about how to analyze poems, how to write poems, what different things that a poet can do would mean in the context of a poem. And yeah, so my brain is kind of like, I analyze. So I have another little poetry fun fact for you guys. So there's this stanza where it says, dress her, arms her, neck her, cheeks her, hair. And so it's like her arms, her neck, her cheeks, her cheek, her hair. But like, because the line is broken after her every time, so line breaks are like really special and really important and impactful to a poem, because like when a line for just a split second is its own thing. So like a line can have its own meaning. Like, I mean, of course it means something within the whole stanza and the sentence, but like a line by itself will have its own meaning, like separate from the stanza, for just a half a second. So you can use that in like really cool ways. You can break lines in the middle of sentences that maybe puts emphasis on the last word, or it like where the line break, it kind of makes you think something different than where the stanza is actually going. Like you can do some really cool things with line breaks. And so in this case, the author chose to break the line for 4 lines in a row. Every single line break ends on her, and so that really puts emphasis on the word her, and kind of like makes you realize that he's kind of like infatuated with her. I don't want to say infatuated, but he's like, his attention is just on her for that moment. And I think that that's really cool, and that's a really cool way to use line breaks to imply a separate meaning than what just the words are saying. Okay, so it's almost 7. And I want to tell you that I finished Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. It was different than I thought it was going to be. Basically, as Will is going down the elevator, some like people, like ghosts from his past, keep getting on the elevator. They talk to him. He kind of like really thinks about what he's going to do, why he's going to do it, and like consequences and that kind of thing. I thought it was pretty good. I think I'm going to again give it 4 stars. I just like giving 4-star ratings, I guess. I will pick up Lucid by Adrian Soltz and Ron Bass. This is the one that I was the least amount of pages into. I think I'm on page 15. So I have basically the whole book to read. About Lucid. I'm literally only like 30 pages into it, but like this whole time I thought that, okay, so there's Sloane and Maggie, and I thought that like Sloane was like the main character and Maggie was like her alter ego or something that comes out at certain times and is like not a nice person. But I don't know, like, I thought it was like an alter ego thing where, like, when she goes to sleep, then she wakes up and Maggie is in her body, and she's like being a real mean person to people, and people are like, Sloan, what are you doing? And then Sloan knows that she's like, no, it's Maggie, it's not me. But, like, that's not the case at all. I don't know. I just read the summary on Goodreads, and it said that Sloan and Maggie are two different people. But when they go to sleep, they dream of each other's lives. I was so confused because I thought that these were the same people, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I was so confused. And literally, I blame all of that on the fact that this synopsis doesn't say anything helpful. I was like so confused. And after reading the Goodreads one, I'm like, I understand it a bit more, but like, who decided to put that on the cover? Because it's not helpful at all. I literally have like no idea what's happening because I was misunderstanding it this whole time. Love that for me. Okay, everyone, so I was going to continue reading, but at 9:30 my boyfriend's mom wanted to do a family Zoom call since it is it's Christmas now, but it was Christmas Eve. And so we were on that Zoom call for like, it was after midnight. I think we were on the Zoom call till 1 a.m. Like, it was a really long time. So I didn't get to read much after 9:30 because that's when we started. So that's unfortunate. And I'm only on page 77 of Lucid. I'm really not liking it. I'm kind of just skimming it at this point because I don't like it. And sometimes I do that when I'm like, I really want to DNF it, but I don't want to not read it. So then I kind of just skim it. I don't know why. I don't like not finishing books. I don't like it. So yeah, I'm not done with this one, but I'm going to try to finish it before the end of the year. This is going to be really difficult because I have so many other books I need to read before the end of the year, like all the fantasy books that are on my fantasy challenge, which, like, if you didn't know, I'm doing a December fantasy challenge where I try to read fantasies in December. I will have a vlog of that going up beginning of January. Also, I have been doing quote-unquote daily TikToks. They haven't really been daily. I post one every couple of days usually. So if you aren't following my TikTok and you wanted to check that out, it's my TikTok is linked down below. I finished 4 books today. So first I finished Summerbird Blue by Kami Dawn Bowman, and then I finished Fangirl the Manga Volume 1 by Rainbow Rowell, adapted by Sam Maggs and illustrated by Gabby Nam. Then I finished Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. Finally, I finished Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. Then, of course, I started Lucid, but I didn't finish it, unfortunately. I think this was a pretty successful readathon. I did finish a lot, even though I didn't finish everything that I wanted to. Hey, the heat kicked off. The heat is like always on. It like never shuts off. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss any future bookish content from me in the coming year. And if you want to follow me on social media, all my links are in the description box down below as always. Thank you all so much for watching my vlog, and I will see you next time. Bye!